Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear, oh, now go with the go so. Herdsmen, they kill us every day, but them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, them they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Move it down. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jealous. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come. It is very close at the film. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
All of us. In 1776, the United States separated from the United Kingdom by declaration. Today, they are the world power. In 1830, Belgium separated from Netherlands. Today, they are one of the most powerful countries in Europe. Both of the countries. In 1965, Singapore separated from Malaysia. Today, they have transformed into global financial hub as a result of the separation. Why is it that when we call for separation, Nigeria and their criminals will be calling us terrorists? Don't fall for it. The past separation has led to the upsurge of economic development in the case of India and Pakistan, Norway, Denmark, Switzerland. Each of these separation has led to the upsurge of economic and development. In 2002, East Timor separated from Indonesia. In 1921, Ireland separated from the United Kingdom. Today, they are one of the powerful countries we have. In 1944, Iceland separated from Denmark, demonstrating that nations can part away without violence. Why do you kill Biafrans? Whenever we say we are fed up of Nigeria. In Nigeria, where you have dangerous diversity, in Nigeria, where you have the northern part of Nigeria practicing Islamic State, practicing Islamic Sharia law, and they have different culture, different laws, different rules, different everything. And with that kind of mentality and setup, we can never develop as a nation. That is the reason we call for the separate state, and of course for independent state for Biafra. Apart from the killings, genocide against our people, and jihad. In 1905, Norway and Sweden separated and goes their separate ways. Today, they are one of the most powerful countries in Europe because of the separation. In 1947, India and Pakistan separated. The list can go on and on and on.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma achọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ehi niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tigata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wusi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ihe ngwa gị gbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwu na ebe arụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma. Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ. Ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a, arụ emego, egbugo ndị be anyị, aka na-egbukwa anyị, ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi. A na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị nụkọ nke ndị ụmụnne. Ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị. Onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya, ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị. Agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa, agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma, kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye rie n'ihe ọ Ndụbụisi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka echehata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma. Ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwekwe n'ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị. Ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro ekwu okwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu. Ụmụ ihe ndị a ka anyị sị na anaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ.
Akụkọ a kọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ. A na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ nwụchụ aja. Mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-eto esi wee kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo. Ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo ahụ kpafu n'obodo Naijiria karịa.
Ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dịka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga. Etu ọkụkọ mba niile dị iche iche si kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị, a na-egbu ha, a na-egbu ha, a na-egbu ha, afọ niile aka na-egbu ha. O wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma. Ọ ka mma na onwe ihe kwegbuo anyị nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu. O doo na onye onwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro, ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ, ọnwụghị ugboro atọ, ọnwụghị ugboro anọ. Ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị. Ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ ibe mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa gbugbu m isi a sị na-achọghị ụdị nka. Ọ bụghị anyị maka a ga-eji wee chụọ àjà ọzọ.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this evening program. I appreciate everyone that has connected wherever you are connecting from. Please like and share the program to all platforms, share to family and friends, share to your neighbors, share to anyone that you can be able to reach. It is a very quick evening program. We have to do it as we always do, a very evening one. 1 hour or less than 1 hour will be through with the message. So just try to help us by liking and sharing to other people so that they can join us as quick as possible. We can run this and end it. I appreciate every one of you, and I want to remind you again that in this platform, we don't come here to instigate violence. We don't come to preach hate. We do not come to this platform to attack people or individuals. What we do is to promote the cause of freedom, to support humanity, to support the self-determination of the Biafran people and present Biafra to the whole world as the only remedy to the failed state called Nigeria. Biafra remains the only remedy, no matter what the enemies are saying, no matter their plans, their propaganda, their blackmails. It will never hold water, and we will keep speaking until we are free. So wherever you are, add your own voice, join us, do your own part by sharing, do your own part by liking, invite somebody to join us on this very program. It is very important. We're not going to waste much of your time. We'll go straight into the program. Remember, it is Monday. Monday has been a special day for us. From the moment Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped in 2001 up to this time, Monday has become a sacred day for the Biafran people. And we are not stopping until we are free. The captivity of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the captivity of every Biafran, more especially the Igbos. The imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the sentence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a sentence on every Biafran, more especially the Igbo Biafran. You think that the life sentence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is just on him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents more than 80 million people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu undoubtedly represents more than 80 million people. And if you think it is a joke, think again. And that is why we are all adding our voice and we are calling for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The insecurity in Nigeria, the insecurity in Biafra land is orchestrated and caused by the federal government of Nigeria itself. They are indicted on so many occasions. Are we going to count one or two? The evidence to every single thing we say every day on this platform are there. We don't come here to push propaganda or blackmail. You can get the evidence on what we are saying from their own conventional media. And most times, I play the videos here for you to see. So we don't come here for propaganda nor blackmail. We focus on the fact of the day. When we say Nigeria is a failed state, every single indices that confirm a failed state is in Nigeria. The only thing you have to do is to remove your hatred, remove your biased mind, go and verify the status of Nigeria today. Go and check every single indices that makes up a failed state. Check them and see. They are all present in Nigeria, even more. So calling Nigeria a failed state is not a propaganda, not a blackmail. It is a fact. And when we indict Nigeria on the insecurity that we are seeing today, I am not the one saying it. In their conventional media, there have been confessional statements from different angles. In social media, there have been conventional statements from different angles, including from the military themselves. How do you explain when the military are taking on the Boko Haram members, the terrorists, and a command will come from the higher authority and tell them to stand down? How do you explain that? How do you explain the fact that the terrorists should be operating in an area and the military, they will tell you that their hands are tied, they can't do anything? How do you explain that the governor of a state will come on national TV and tell you that they know whom the terrorists are? They know their parents, they are their brothers, they know where they are, but their hands are tied, they can't do anything. How do you explain that? Tell me, how do you explain that? So when we indict Nigerian government in the atrocities that is happening in Nigeria, we are not doing it out of hate, we are not doing it out of pride, we are not doing it as a blackmail. It is a fact. The only thing that you have to do is to own up to the truth if you are a Nigerian. Those of you who are confessing one Nigeria out of hunger because of what your belly will eat. Some out of hatred because you hate the Biafran people, because you hate the Igbo people. You support everything that is wrong. Out of jealousy, because of your jealousy, you support everything that is wrong. But your support for evil can never change evil to become good. Your support for lies and propaganda can never make the lie to become the truth. A lie will always remain a lie. It does not matter how long it takes. It does not matter what happens. It doesn't matter the angle you direct it to. Every single lie that is being told will always remain a lie until that lie is corrected. And we are here today to correct every lie that has been told against the Biafran people that we know of. Every propaganda they have pushed against us, directly and indirectly, we are here to stand against them all. We are here to expose them all. This is something we have already signed up for. It does not matter the attack we are getting. It does not matter the blackmail that is coming from all angles. It doesn't matter the hatred that they are pushing against us in different places, in different ways. That will never stop us from speaking the truth. That will never stop us from saying what is right to say. Instead of you to stop us, all those your hatred will give us more energy to fight, even more than you can ever imagine. And that is what we have signed up to do. We will continue to fight this battle until Biafra is free. Just as they are holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today unlawfully, just as they have succeeded shamelessly before the whole world, convicted a man without a law against their own constitution. They convicted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu without a written law, and the whole world watched that drama live. And Nigeria think they can move forward. Nigeria think that they can go ahead and do whatever they like. Your crime against the Biafran people will never go unnoticed. And Chukwu Okike will never send, he will never cease to send the punishment to the contraption called Nigeria. The course that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu released in that very court will follow every individual that has a hand that is supporting the evil that is meted against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In whichever way you are supporting that evil, in whichever way you contribute, either in words or in action, to the illegal and unconstitutional detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that course will follow you. You can never escape that course. From the beginning of the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in their court and he invoked the God of justice. And so many of you think that that invocation of the God of justice is in vain. You know, Chukwu Okike is not a man, and he doesn't act the way men act, because he gives people time. And because of that delay, some people feel that you can do anything and get away with it. But I bet you, for everyone that is part of what transpired against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it does not matter whom you are going to face the consequence of your action. You are going to suffer. Your generation unborn will suffer. In whichever way you contribute to the continuous detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in word and action, you will face the consequence. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are, don't give up. Don't give up. I can understand how so many of us feel. I can understand the pressure. Don't give up. All hope is not lost. A lot of things are going to happen. A lot of things have started happening already. I bet you that this is the appointed time by Chukwu Okike, and no man can truncate this project. For the fact that Chukwu Okike was able to push the hand of Donald Trump with the little time he has to focus on Biafra, to focus on Nigeria, the genocide against the Christians is going to end the Zoological Republic. We are going to get there. It does not matter how they pretend. It doesn't matter what they say. When Chukwu Okike will destroy a man, he will first of all make him deaf and dumb. Today, you can see that the insecurity is increasing. The abduction of Christians in Nigeria continue to increase. The abduction and genocide against innocent citizens continue in Nigeria. The terrorists are running rampage, and the sponsors of the terrorists, they are not hiding. They are coming out today to make a case for the terrorists. They come out and say that you must negotiate. That is how bad it is. They have grown so bold that they don't care. They damn the consequence of their actions, and they come online and tell you that you must negotiate. Today, the Northern Forum came together. It is no longer Sheikh Gumi speaking. Sheikh Gumi was the mouthpiece. They used him to introduce that very idea, to check you and see how you are going to react. They used Sheikh Gumi to introduce their agenda to see how you're going to react. And of course, they examine and say that Nigeria will always be what they are. The most useless citizens we have in the world is Nigerians. And I don't blame them because nobody's a Nigerian. What we have in that British company is the Biafrans, the Yorubas, the Middle Belters, and the Northerners. There is nobody that is loyal to that contraption called Nigeria. That is why everything that you attach that name dies a natural death. Anything you are doing and you attach that name Nigeria to it, get destroyed automatically. Easy and simple. You don't even need to fight. The only thing that you need to do to attract the wrath of God, the only thing you need to do to attract destruction upon yourself is to attach yourself to Nigeria. Be it business-wise, be it diplomatic-wise. Once you get in contact with Nigeria, you are done. You are doomed. That is how bad it is. The contraption called Nigeria, very intelligent people are trapped there. There are so many intelligent people that are trapped there. You can see that in the United States, the highest, most educated immigrants in the United States are Nigerians. And these people that go in that name Nigeria, they are Biafrans. Go and check them. I can bet you that 70% of them are Biafrans doing exploit outside that name Nigeria. But the moment you attach yourself to Nigeria, first of all, that name will empty your brain. You will begin to think like an idiot. Immediately you attach yourself with Nigeria and you put yourself under the cover of Nigeria, your brain will disappear and you begin to think like an idiot. That is what we see today in Nigeria. That is what you see in their government. That is what you see among the politicians. Look at the politicians in Biafra land. In a time when the northern part of Nigeria, the Janjaweed, the caliphate are protecting the terrorists they groomed, they are even asking the federal government to include the terrorists in the budget. What do you say the Southeast? Biafra land, the old Southeastern region, where people are demanding for their rights. Where the people say that enough of this madness, we want to go our separate ways and have self-determination, which is a right, not a privilege. Instead of supporting that right of the people, the politicians gather together, they attack the people and call them terrorists. The people that proscribe IPOB, don't you ever forget it. The people that proscribe IPOB are the Biafran politicians. Southeast politicians, they were the one that proscribed IPOB. They were the one that first of all called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist. These terrorists today that you see that the federal government have called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in their court, the people that called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu terrorist first was the politicians in Biafra land. The Ohaneze Ndibo, Ohaneze Ndohinandama, they gathered together, they sat down and they read out the proscription and called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist. Today, the government of Nigeria gathered the boldness to follow their footsteps and pronounce it in paper. Don't you ever forget it. Because of political positions, because of posts, because of money, they sold their conscience. Today, Biafra land has become a war zone. Biafra land has become a war zone that the only thing a policeman or a military man, a Boko Haram member need to do to take you out is to put the flag of Biafra on you. Once you are identified as a Biafran, you are a dead man. Sanctioned by the politicians in Biafra land. Even as we speak, they are still going forward. Hope Uzodema and the Seibo in Anambra State, they are going forward to continue to cement the Fulani takeover of Biafra land. But are we going to fold our hands and continue to complain and lament? No. We are going to fight back. We will fight back with everything in us. We will fight back physically, we will fight back spiritually. Wherever you are, don't keep silent. Open your mouth and speak. Even if it is only you in that platform, open your mouth and speak. Don't be silent. If you cannot make a program, talk to somebody around you. Look at your neighbors and talk to them. If you are living abroad, look for any of your neighbors and explain the situation of Biafra to them. If you cannot meet your representative, that your neighbor, that is a citizen you are talking to, can take your story and go with it. Don't keep silent. Any place you are on this planet Earth, don't stop talking about the problem, the genocide that is going on in Biafra land. They will not discuss us. They will not. You saw the video I played in the morning of the revelation that our beloved sister made. You saw the video I played in the morning. The revelation that our sister made of the genocide of the Biafran that is going on. And just like we have been saying on this platform, our sister was begging. She was literally begging that those of us who live in the United States, that is the only place we still have a little hope. You should make a move. Make a move. Take our complaint to the right places. Talk to your MPs. Talk to your representatives. It is very easy to go to them. Write a letter. If you cannot go directly, write a letter. Take videos, take information, take pictures. Go to them and explain. The genocide in Biafra land is real. It is still ongoing, even as we are doing this program. It is still ongoing. Nigeria will continue to deny it. Even when you catch Nigeria on video, on picture, they keep on denying it. You can imagine the genocide of the Christians, including pastors, are joining to deny it. You can imagine somebody like Reverend Coker came out and said that even if you kill up to 1 million, it doesn't amount to genocide. You see somebody who called himself a Christian say that even if you take 1 million lives, it doesn't amount to genocide. It is a shame. It is a shame. That is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say. Anybody that calls himself a Nigerian, spit on that very person. Anybody that opened his mouth and called himself a Nigerian, spit on them. They don't deserve to be pitied. People that will support everything evil, they will support the oppressor and castigate the oppressed. Nigeria will always castigate the oppressed and support their oppressor. They have decided to embrace abnormality as normal. Only in Nigeria. That is a country where you will see people embracing abnormality as normal. And even when you rise up to speak against that abnormality, they will tell you that your help is not needed. They will ask you if you are the only one. If you are the only one suffering. Just like Donald Trump speaking about the Christian genocide, instead of looking into the genocide, what they were busy saying that it is not only Christians that are killed, that Muslims are also. So if Muslims are also killed, does it mean that does that mean that we should allow the genocide to continue? Go to all their platform, all their media, their argument is that it is not only Christians that are killed. So the issue is not that there is genocide, but they said it is not just Christians, genocide. They only have a problem because Donald Trump mentioned Christian. Why didn't the Muslims that have been killed go to Saudi Arabia and complain? Why didn't the Muslims that are murdered in Nigeria speak up? Why didn't they go to Qatar? Why didn't they go to Saudi Arabia? They go to pilgrim every time. Why didn't they go and complain? It was only when Donald Trump weighed in that they realized, oh, he was coming to fight for Christians. They have made people to be ashamed of whom they are. They made people to be scared of speaking the truth. But I bet you, for as long as we live, we will continue to speak the truth. The truth and nothing but the truth. They can't stop us. They can try, but they will not succeed. We have signed up for this assignment until we are free. We will never be silent. A lot is going on in the Zoological Republic. And with all the nonsense that is going on, we will continue to expose their evil. We will continue to expose them. We will never be silent. We cannot pretend and say it is not happening. We will continue to speak and say it the way it is. The insecurity in Biafra land today is caused by Nigerian government themselves. And I want to play this video that was made long ago by our beloved sister, Lolo Nneka. She made a revelation, a striking revelation in one of her interviews about the insecurity in Biafra land. She didn't start today. And I just remember that her revelation. And I think I have to play it. Because when we talk about these atrocities, we show it to the world so that they can see. Our sister, Lolo Nneka, she is not just an Igbo woman. She's just a Biafra. She's a journalist, a renowned journalist. She's a renowned journalist, bringing that information and saying things the way they are. I want you to listen to the revelation she made about the atrocities of Nigerian government in Biafra, including when they framed sit at home. They say sit at home is being enforced. They say sit at home is this one, is that one, is that one. All those propaganda. I want you to listen to this very program. This revelation that our sister made long, long ago.
When this insecurity was too much in the southeast, I'm based in Lagos. For our group, we have different departments and we have media departments. So we decided to come and cover it and to find out what is actually happening. But when we came around to cover the insecurity, we discovered that 90%, I'm sorry to say, of the insecurity in the southeast was caused by the military. I won't apologize for saying it, but they would have shot me at Osumu that time. So when we came, and on Monday, we decided to cover the sit-at-home proper. So when I have my driver, I have my car, so I moved with my driver. So when we came to Olo, that's near Banana Junction, we discovered that place was closed up by the military. So I had to come down because I have my Enigma outfit. So I have my ID card. So I approached the military. Even when they saw me approaching them, they were like even their faces. And I greeted them and I said, "Okay, why did you block you?" I said, "Who are you to ask all that question, without the harassment?" And I showed them my card. I said, "Unfortunately, I'm a media person and we are here to cover the sit-at-home because we realized that you said ipob is sit-at-home and they are enforcing sit-at-home. But with the look of things, you are the one enforcing the sit-at-home because I know that before you came, there was nothing like this insecurity. Let's be honest ourselves. Before the military were moved to Southeast, we didn't have it this bad. So you were brought here to relax the sit-at-home. Not that there were clashes within the sit-at-home, but for you to relax it so that people would start coming out. Now that you are blocking the road, it's like you are helping to now enforce the sit-at-home. So when I now flashed my car, they now ran inside. So out of anger, I moved those things on the road. And then I drove past. I covered the whole of Southeast. When you approach their checking points, they look more deadly. than any criminal, even armed robbers you meet on the road. The way they approach, the way they harass.
Did you see that? That was a revelation made by our beloved sister, Lord Nega. The insecurity you see in Nigeria, the insecurity you see in Biafra land more especially, is organized and sponsored by the federal government of Nigeria. She has been shouting about this information. She has been talking. This is our sister, a journalist. You will never see any of those people paying attention to him, the politicians. They refuse to listen to the warning. They refuse to pay attention, and they go ahead. All they do is to attack Biafrans. These same politicians were the ones that, first of all, called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a terrorist. What the government did today was just to officially announce what the Southeast governors and Ohanese Igbo have spoken a long time ago. From that moment, they prescribed IPOB. They set us up for extinction, and they tagged Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for elimination. So when you see them today coming to talk rubbish, I was saying it even before the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, before the judgment, I said it in one of my programs, that if these people are serious, the very first thing they have to do is to remove the prescription that they put. Remove that prescription on IPOB, because there is no way IPOB will remain prescribed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of IPOB, you begin to ask for his freedom. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never deny IPOB because it is not a terrorist organization. But the politicians gathered together and made IPOB a terrorist organization. If they were serious, all this while the case was on, if they were serious, the very first thing they should have done is to remove that prescription, because they were the one that put it. At least remove that prescription on state level. State level, remove it, because that was how they started it. They prescribed IPOB in all their states before the federal government cemented it. But all this while, no single one of them was speaking. None of them was talking. I said it in my program, that if they were serious, the very first thing they should have done is to remove that prescription. When you remove that prescription, then you begin to advocate for the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But you left the prescription of the organization that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is leading, and you say you are asking for him to be freed, only for him now to be sentenced, and you are now asking for pardon. And you expect us to clap for you. Today, you see them going for pilgrimage in Sokoto. Sokoto have become a pilgrimage ground, and they want us to keep silent. They have used their pastor to go there, and what message do they bring? Oh, calm down. Calm down. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say you should not react. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say you should not do anything. The only thing they are focused on is to change the mindset of the Biafrans to make sure we don't react. That is the focus of the politicians. They have used the pastor, they use the governor, and the more people are going to be going there for pilgrimage, because they know that Biafrans cannot take this. Biafrans cannot take this. Let me tell you, Biafrans, we don't act fast. We don't take things fast. But when you push us to the wall, we will have no choice than to bounce back. And when we bounce back, I bet you will never survive what is going to come. You can never, ever survive what is coming. And in this one, Biafrans are going to bounce back. If they like, let them continue all their propaganda. Continue all their blackmail, all their nonsense they are doing to confuse the people. We will never, ever be confused. Nigeria is a terrorist country. I saw a video that was made, a report that was made by AIT, I think AIT, on the kidnapped students. Do you know that those students who were kidnapped, that a helicopter came? The kidnappers came with a helicopter I want to play that video. I want you to pay attention to this very report from AIT, eyewitness account. Listen to the eyewitness account, what the eyewitness will say, for you to understand how bad it is.
So Falcon has taken responsibility for the abduction. Now, has there been any communication as to the demand for ransom for the...
Look at the write-up you saw there. Helicopter vehicles used for abduction at Catholic school in Niger State. These are the people they call bandits. Helicopter vehicles were used for abduction of Catholic school in Niger State. This is AIT report. It is not me that is saying it. So when we talk about Nigerian government involvement in the terrorism, when we talk about the Christian genocide, they plan to Islamize and take over Nigeria, it is not a joke. It is not being planned by ordinary herdsmen in the street. The people that are planning are sophisticated, they have all the weapons. And they build this sophistication starting from Muhammad Buhari. When they hijack your communication system and they gave it to a terrorist, Pantami, a member of Al-Qaeda, was the one that they gave the Minister of Communication in Nigeria during the time of late Muhammad Buhari. And you have forgotten so easily. Today, during the kidnapping in Niger State, look at the write-up. Helicopter vehicle used for abduction in Catholic. I want you will hear them confess by themselves so that you can understand.
These of those children and teachers traveling to Papiri in the Aguero local government area from Mina was another journey. For you to get to Papiri, take about 6 hours. Then you come to Royal, and from Royal, you take another day. Going to Aguero to Papiri, take about 30 minutes. At the school, it was a sorry sight to behold at the premises of the St. Mary's Catholic Primary and Secondary School, Papiri, when parents and loved ones of the abducted 239 school children and 12 teachers staged a protest with a free flow of tears, lamentation, anguish, dashful and wailing that filled the air. Some parents who had 4 to 5 of their children abducted could not hold back tears to speak to the camera, but said they only imagine what the children who are between the ages of 6 and above are going through in the hands of the terrorists. Such a view was held by 35-year-old Samson Najaja, whose 15-year-old son was abducted. According to him, he was a victim of kidnapping in 2021 and knew what he suffered in the hands of the terrorists who refused Naira as ransom but SEFA currency. Therefore, he could only imagine what the children are going through. A teacher, Martha Matthias, whose husband was abducted along with the children, narrated how her 5-year-old daughter saved her from being abducted.
When I took my baby, my daughter now woke up and saw them. She shouted. She now followed. When she came out, she saw her daddy lying down. She now shouted, "Why your daddy?" She wanted to go to him, and I said, "Hold on, just come." They said if she did not go back, they would shoot her. She refused. They now put gun for her here that if she did not keep quiet, they would shoot her now. She said 5 years old. She said she must follow mommy and daddy.
Imagine.
From there, one of them now asked me to go back and stay with the children.
Both the principal, Felicia Gang, and the head teacher, Blessing Amodu, narrated their ordeal.
We had bangings on our gates and the children wailing, crying, and we heard voices saying, in Hausa, meaning that we should pack the children and get money. We were there until after maybe there about 4, we heard kind of a helicopter hovering around.
Did you hear that?
And we were not sure who was in the helicopter.
Did you hear that? Why the kidnappers were there with them? That they had a helicopter hovering around. Why the kidnappers was with them in the room to take the children? that they were in the room hiding and they were hearing helicopter flying outside. They were hearing the sound of helicopter. This is a confession, an eyewitness account. Helicopter was hovering around when the kidnappers came. Of course, the helicopter is not a military helicopter. It didn't come to fight them. It came to escort them, probably help them to carry the children. This is how bad it is in the Nigeria. But when you talk about it, some people will think you come to black.
Hovering around, and we were not sure who was in the Nigerians, and the children wailing, crying, and we heard voices saying in Hausa, meaning that we should pack the children and get money. We were there until after maybe there about 4, we heard that we should pack the children and get money. We were there until after maybe there about 4, we heard kind of a helicopter hovering around, and we were there until after maybe there about 4, we heard kind of a helicopter hovering around, and we were not sure who was in the helicopter. We were there until after maybe there about 4, we heard kind of a helicopter hovering around, and we were not sure who was in the helicopter. Like, we were afraid, probably they were even bandits, but we didn't know, like, so it hovered for some minutes. I'm not sure it was up to 30 minutes, no. Just hovered around, and at a certain point we didn't hear it again. So that was how it was. But then the helicopter came after we heard them driving off. They drove off, we heard the sound of cars, but we couldn't tell how many cars were there, and bikes. And they sounded so many, overwhelming, that we couldn't tell about the numbers. I'm very sad that the children not now, they are not yet back. All I'm pleading at this moment is for the government to please, and all those who are touched by this incident, to please look for ways on how to rescue these children back to us and our staff. That is all I'm pleading for at this moment. Nothing more than that. They should release them and bring them back to us.
The Catholic Bishop of Kotangora Diocese and proprietor of the school, Most Reverend Bulus Yohana, expressed optimism about the safe rescue of the children and teachers, saying the school serves over 50 communities within and outside Awara local government area.
So I'm calling on the federal government and the state government to do whatever it takes to bring them back. Because many of the parents, in fact, we have already recorded 2 deaths, 1 man and 1 woman from different families who are affected by this incident that happened. So the more these children are away from their parents, the more the situation, especially the parents. It's a pity that many of them will come contact them who don't even know the real situation that they are.
As we speak, till this moment, no communication whatsoever has been established between the terrorists and the school authority. The parents are hoping and can only hope. But the question is, how long will this hope continue, as their hope continues to burn out till the government come to their aid? Zachary Omale, AIT News, Papiri.
So when we say Nigeria is a failed state, it is not a propaganda. When we say Nigeria is a failed state, it is not propaganda. The indices are very, very clear. All you need to do is to look into their media. Pay attention to the media of Nigeria. You will see overwhelming evidence to show you that Nigeria is gone. The government they are calling is not ready to do anything. The government is busy negotiating with the terrorists. The government is busy pampering the terrorists. The government is busy dialoguing with the terrorists. They are not ready to do anything. And they will never do anything. A country where the Senate were shown a live video of a trailer that was carrying bullets, a full loaded trailer of bullets. It got filled up that a bag of bullets fell down on the street. And people picked up. And when they showed it in the House of Senate, you see all of them sat down and they were talking rubbish. In a normal country, that should cause a state of emergency immediately. In a normal country, there will be call for a state of emergency. A trailer, you can imagine how many bullets a trailer can carry. If you get filled up, so they begin to fall on the ground. That is why when you see these bandits, they spread bullets. Their bullet doesn't finish. And when we are talking about Nigeria, a failed state, some people think it's a joke. The United States have done well to speak about it, but they have to go further. I say it again and again. Disintegrate Nigeria. Let every region defend themselves. Every region can defend themselves. Every region can defend themselves. The Biafrans can defend themselves. The Yorubas can defend themselves. The Middle Belt can defend themselves. The Hausas can defend themselves. Divide the country. Let every region defend themselves. You don't need to put your soldiers on the ground. You don't need to waste your resources. Channel your energy in disintegration of the country to end this very problem permanently. To make sure that these very terrorists are wiped away completely. That is the only solution. If you want to be on the ground and put your boot, I bet you it is just going to last for some time and they will come back. You saw what happened in Afghanistan. They can endure, they can run away, but they will always come back. But when you establish the people who own the land to own their territory, it will be an everlasting war and they will never ever return. They will be wiped away completely. That is why we are calling for total disintegration. Total and absolute disintegration. I want you to watch the video. When the Senate were shown a trailer, the Senate president was shown a trailer that was carrying bullets and he fell.
Right now happening in Zaria. Today is 26. A commercial trailer passing through Zaria around Ahmadu Bello University, loaded with bullets, on its way to supply to the bandits. For one reason or the other, there is along Zaria Sokoto Highway. Today, now, the bullets were dropping and on the road. The driver did not know. And was still going, and the bullets were dropping. I hope he has been apprehended.
Apprehend who?
So I use this opportunity to call on the Commissioner of Police in Kaduna State to quickly send a team to go and escort the trailer loaded with bullets. Bullets are dropping on the road. The people are crying. I think we should stop further discussion on this matter and go into the prayers. But there is a lot of work to be done. So, there's no need to, whatever you are going to say, Senator Blank, these bullets that are dropping on the ground, we need to make a resolution on this now. Before the bullets find their way into the hands of the bandits. Are you going to say that the bullets should not be? Okay, to say something now, because I don't want anybody to feel that he was shot out. Let's just use 30 seconds and say what we want to say, because these issues are too serious. And security really should not be discussed in the open like this. Yes, sir. But because of the peculiar circumstance that we have found ourselves, look at this here. Yes, sir. President of the Senate, get the IG and send it to him and then let him. President of the Senate, my distinguished colleague.
You see the video he was shown. Look at the video he was shown. I'm going to show you the video he was shown. This is the video the Senate president was shown of a trailer that dropped loaded bullets. The trailer got filled up that bullets are falling on the ground in the northern part of Nigeria, Zaria to be precise. This is how equipped they are in the north. And these people are sitting in the Senate and talking rubbish. He was shown the video on 26th. As it was happening, they showed him the video. Did you see that? That is the bag of the bullets. See bullets spray on the ground. See? Did you see that? Did you see this? Did you see that? That's bullet on the ground. Look at the bag. A bag of bullets. Bag filled with bullet. He just fell down from the trailer. Do you know how many of that bag? That he got filled up, so is falling out, and the driver doesn't know. The driver keep on driving. And the man is sitting in there. He will say, call IG and tell him to go and escort the trailer. The trailer have reached to where he's going. The trailer have already gone. There is even a military. There might be a military man in that trailer escorting it. There might be a Boko Haram military in that trailer escorting it to go. You want to go and stop it. This is the zoo for you. The zoo is gone. Completely gone. Completely gone. When we play a video here that a man was confessing how Bola Ahmed Tinubu entered into a contract with the bandits, some think it was a joke. It is not a joke. Bola Ahmed Tinubu have a contract with the bandit, and there's nothing he can do. He has a contract with the bandit. You will continue to lament on lament until they will take over everywhere and they will give the order. They are sharing their bullets today. Some are falling on the street. Some of you think it's about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You were celebrating the jail term of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You don't know what is coming. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says, when they will come, I will not be there. All those idiots, bastards that are talking everywhere, they are going to pay with their own blood. I want you to hear this one from Obasanjo himself. When we say Nigeria is a failed state, we are not the ones saying it alone, even in their conventional media. All those they call their statesmen, they confirm it that Nigeria is a failed state. Hear it from Obasanjo.
No matter what religion you belong to, no matter where you come from, no matter what profession, we Nigerians have been killed. And our governments seem to be incapable of protecting us. We are part of the world community. If our government cannot do it, we have right to call on the international community to do for us what our government cannot do for us. And for anybody to say because those who have been killed belong to this region, belong to this religion, belong to this tribe, and then others too are being killed, cannot be an acceptable excuse. Before I left government, I know we had capacity to pick up anybody in Nigeria who commits crime anywhere. The capacity that we didn't have then is after we have identified and located such a criminal, we have no capacity to be able to pick him up without moving on land or by air. Now we have capacity. With drones, you can slit them up. You can take them out. Why are we not doing that? Why are we not apologizing?
You ask me, I ask who?
Why are we negotiating?
When you hear somebody like Obasanjo speak in this manner, when you hear somebody like Obasanjo speak in this manner, what else are you expecting to hear? What else are you expecting to hear? When you hear Obasanjo speak in this very manner, what else are you expecting to hear? What else are you expecting to hear? Nigeria is gone and gone for good. Wherever you are, you better begin to prepare to protect yourself. Nobody is going to protect you anywhere. Nobody is protecting you. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was there protecting you, you didn't believe it. Mazi Simon Ekpa put his life on the line, protect you. You sold him out. Today, nobody is there to protect you. You are on your own. Mazi Simon Ekpa told you that they want to take him out to get to you, and you thought it was a joke, right? Today, they have taken him out. They have taken Mazi Simon out, and today they can get to you in a twinkle of an eye. There is no support anywhere. There is no defense anywhere. There is no protection anywhere. Everybody is empty, and they can pick anybody they want at any given point in time. They can pick anybody they want. So, my fellow Biafrans, wherever you are, you must prepare. If you know how you're going to prepare and protect your own family, do that. Do that. Every one of us must continue to pay attention. The game has become so dangerous that every single information is important this time around. If you like, continue to look for whom to blame and whom not to blame. Make use of every information that is coming. It doesn't matter who the information comes from. Make use of information to protect yourself. Every information is important. Every information is important. Some of us have fish brain. You want everything to be spelled out for you. You want everything to be told to you in ABC. You better begin to put your own brain to work. Everybody must begin to put their brain to work. Stop waiting for somebody to come and feed you in your mouth. Stop waiting for somebody to come and interpret everything for you in ABC. There are people that are in that Nigeria. Don't expect somebody in Nigeria to speak the way you speak, you that is abroad. I am not expecting anybody that is in Nigerian territory, whether you are a Biafran or non-Biafran. I don't expect them to speak the way I speak. Never. What I do is to take information from people, share the information, and the intelligent and wise ones will use the information to secure themselves. Use the information to secure yourself. It doesn't matter who the information is coming from. Apply your common sense and use the information to your own benefit. As it stands today, every man is on his own. If you know how to protect your family, protect them. If you know how to direct your family, direct them. If you like, continue to play your blame game. Continue to look for whom to blame on how somebody who said something the way you don't like or somebody who said the way you like. It makes no sense. For the long I have been in this struggle, for the maturity I've gotten in this struggle, no human being can shake me. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't judge people by just what they do or what they say. I consider a lot of things before I take my decisions. When I see information, I make use of information. It doesn't matter who it comes from. Even a Janjaweed can give you an information that can save your life. The Janjaweed can give you information that can save your life. Only an idiot will ignore it when you hear it. You say because it's coming from an Hausa man or because it's coming from a Yoruba man, you will not listen. No problem. No problem. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue to play your best game. Continue to play your merry-go-round. At the end of the day, it's either you are alive to tell the story or somebody will tell the story on your behalf. We are here online. Maybe your own video will reach me. I will use your own video to present to people and give people an example. If you are in Biafra land and you're watching, open your ears wide. Pay attention to every information. They are all important. It doesn't matter who is coming from. That time you will spend to judge your fellow Biafran. That time you will spend to judge people. Spend that time to find a way out. As it stands today, every man on his own. Every man on his own. Nobody, no security anywhere is going to fight for you. Nobody, no military anywhere is fighting for you. No army anywhere is fighting. You are the soldier of yourself. Begin to improvise ways to defend yourself. Improvise way. One of the greatest way to improvise way to is to information. Information is key. When you have information, you will know what to do. When you have the right information, you would have solved your problem halfway. And the remaining half is on actions. If you like, listen. If you don't like, don't. My own duty is to come here every blessed day and make my noise. After making noise, I go away. The air that you breathe, the breeze will bear witness that we spoke. We said it when we had to say it. Have done a great job by giving us wonderful leaders. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was a very strong man. And still is. He still is. And I believe he's going to come back. Likewise, Mazi Simon Ekpa. On a program that I attended yesterday, Mazi Simon Ekpa spoke. Mazi Simon Ekpa spoke, and he's very, very strong. Mazi Simon Ekpa is not shaking. He spoke yesterday, still very strong and active. And the instruction is that we should focus. Make more noise. Don't keep silent. Make more noise. Continue to talk. Bring more evidence. Pour more evidence online. If you are a direct victim or you know a victim, bring them up. We give them platform to speak. If they can make video, make their video, send their information, we push it out. That is the instruction. This is not the time to look at any idiot anywhere or to respond to any nonsense. This is not the time. Allow those people who feel that they enjoy in talking rubbish, let them go ahead and keep on wasting their precious time. Focus on what matters, because our freedom will definitely come. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Nigeria is a failed state, remains a failed state. For you to know how failed Nigeria is, you saw the ambassadorial choice that Tinubu made. When you see the kind of people that Tinubu chose as ambassadors, you will cry, you will shed tears. For those idiots who think that one Nigeria is a solution, Nigeria is irredeemable. And every day you go to their national TV, to their conventional media, you confirm that Nigeria is irredeemable. From the things we see, from the things we hear, from the operation, from the system that they are running, will never be redeemed. It will be worse. If you like, put Peter Obi there tomorrow, it will be worse. Peter Obi will be worse than Peter Obi. Anybody that enters after will be worse. That is why if you have conscience and you're a human being, no matter your race, no matter your location, no matter your orientation, no matter your group, no matter your tribe, fight as much as you can to end this contraption. That is the only solution. No shortcut. I want us to watch this from their conventional media. See those evil media, the evil media of Nigeria. Watch
right, well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending. Focusing on reactions to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's announcement of 32 ambassadorial nominees that sparked controversy over the weekend. The list comprises 15 nominees as career ambassadors and 17 nominees as non-career ambassadors. Well, among the controversial non-career ambassadors designated are Reno Omokri, a former spokesman for Atiku Abubakar, Femi Kayode, a former aviation minister, and Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. The new nominees are expected to be posted to countries with which Nigeria maintains excellent strategic bilateral relations. Well, Reno Omokri has already accepted President Tinubu's nomination. In a post on X, Omokri expressed gratitude to President Tinubu, saying that Tinubu has taught him the virtue of forgiveness. He acknowledged that despite their political differences, Tinubu chose to overlook past criticisms and recognize his capacity to serve Nigeria in a diplomatic role. He described the nomination as a masterclass in leadership, stating that Tinubu's decision demonstrates that politics should not be about permanent enemies, but about national interest. Well, Omokri's acceptance has generated significant controversy and debate, with critics accusing him of hypocrisy and double standards. Ahead of the 2023 presidential election, Omokri was a vocal critic of Tinubu, referring to him with various derogatory terms. Well, in a 2023 interview, which has resurfaced online with Seun Akinbaloye, Omokri explicitly stated that he would never work with Tinubu because working with him goes against his principles. Let's take a look.
To work with him, would you?
It will never happen.
Okay, which one? Which of the scenarios? Him approaching you or you accepting to work with him?
Oh my gosh, I don't want to betray privilege. Somebody from Bola Tinubu's camp has already reached out to me, and I told the person that, look, it cannot happen. I can't do it. It's just against my principles. I'm not. Some people can do that. It's not in my DNA. I can't do it. It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. I wish Bola Tinubu well if he eventually is sworn in and then the courts uphold his victory. But I can never work with him.
I can never work with him. Let me take some reactions. This person wrote on X. He can never work with Tinubu. Not maybe. Not let's see. He said never. Today, the same Reno is dancing like someone that just won a visa lottery because he has been nominated as an ambassador. This is why Nigerians don't take these loud online philosophers seriously. Their never has an expiry date. Their principles only work when there is no appointment or money on the table. The moment opportunity shows face, their conscience goes on sabbatical. Reno didn't just U-turn. He did a full spiritual somersault from it's not in my DNA to your excellency, sir. When do I resume? That these kind of people, they preach integrity for social media. Shame on the pathological liar. Well, the People's Democratic Party has asked President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to withdraw the list of 23 ambassadorial nominees, describing it as a diplomatical all-time low. In a statement, the PDP said the nomination list represents a mockery of Nigeria's foreign service and an embarrassment to the nation's diplomatic tradition. The opposition party argued that some of the nominees lack the requisite diplomatic experience and competence to represent Nigeria effectively on the global stage. Well, in the same vein, an old video of Femi Fani-Kayode verbally attacking a journalist has resurfaced online following his nomination as Nigeria's ambassador designate. In the 2020 video, Femi Fani-Kayode is seen calling out a Daily Trust journalist for calling him stupid for asking him a question about who was bankrolling his store of southern Nigeria. Let's take a look.
What type of stupid question is that? Bankrolling who? Do you know who you are talking to? I will not take any questions from this man. What type of insulting question is that? Please don't insult me here. I don't want to take any questions from this man. Very stupid. I could see from your face before you got here how stupid you are. Don't ever talk to me like that. Who do you think you're talking to? Bankroll who? You have a small mind. Very small mind. Don't judge me by your own standing. Don't ever try that with me again. Don't, please. See me well. Don't ever. All right? I have a short fuse. Okay? Don't.
Well, the incident, which sparked widespread condemnation at the time, has now gone viral again as Nigerians question whether someone with such temperament is fit to represent the country diplomatically. Critics argue that diplomacy requires restraint, respect, and communication skills, qualities that they say Femi Fani-Kayode clearly lacked in his treatment of this particular journalist, Dr. Bati.
Very quickly, while I don't want to focus on the personalities, earlier on this program, I tried to lay the critical areas of concern to identify them by saying, look, we have 109 nations. The president so far has appointed only 35. Now, for us to have a full picture, a comprehensive picture, and to be able to do a detailed assessment of the list, we need to see, what the figure is finally, and whether or not this should not have been prefaced by a review of the nations. Because at a point in this same country, we could not pay diplomats. We could not provide accommodation. In fact, I recall one mission had electricity and water supply cut off because the Nigerian government could not meet his bills. So it's not as if it's some fancy thing to be an ambassador. The government must be able to provide the dignity that that office requires. We also raised the point about temperament, which you're talking about with Ambassador Joe Keshi when we interviewed him, and he was saying that temperament is important, but that what he sees on that list is a collection of the good, the bad, and the ugly. He was very willing to identify the good ones, but in terms of the ugly ones, he just made general statements about former governors who should not in fact be seen in decent company after office, who will now go and become representatives. Now, I think it's also an important point, because you may well post some people to some countries and they'll go there and carry placards, depending on where the wind blows. Even they may carry placards against Nigeria. Or they will be having a diplomatic function. They can even go there and abuse key officials of the country, which will be a very serious diplomatic issue. Of course, the receiving host country will have, under the Convention on Diplomatic Privileges and Immunities, can declare them persona non grata and expel them. The third point, of course, is that we are all concerned about this case, because Nigeria is not very popular in some parts of the world, and we want people who can represent us very well. The ambassador is a representative of the sovereign state. He's also a personal representative
with idiot like
of the
you,
president.
with idiot
So
like
the president
you,
of Nigeria will say
Nigeria can never be represented. The same way you are representing Nigeria in the media.
Section 177
Idiot like you that doesn't know the difference between right and
we as
wrong.
the people of Nigeria, I think we have every right to say whoever
Shameless human being.
represent us. We will not be people who will go and organize riots, or go there to carry placards, or go there to abuse key officials in the host country and then bring embarrassment.
There are people like you. You are not better than them.
Finally, they say they will go through a security screening. They will go through Senate screening. And then, of course, the Nigerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs will have to write a letter to the host country to get an agreement, which is an agreement by the host country. And the host country can say, we don't want this character. So even if the screening fails here, it may not fail in some other countries. A Fanikari, for example, cannot be sent to Israel or to the United States. So these are the issues. And up till the end of 2026, these ambassadors will not even be posted. It's a long process.
All right, speaking about character, Dr. Bati said he did not want to focus on personalities, but that's really what's been making the news on social media. If I come to you, Ayo, meanwhile, the African Democratic Congress has condemned the nomination of Professor Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, as an ambassador designate. In a statement, the ADC described the nomination as inappropriate and insensitive, arguing that Yakubu presided over some of the most controversial elections in Nigeria's history. The party accused the former INEC chairman of overseeing flawed electoral processes that undermined democracy and eroded public trust in the electoral system, adding that rewarding Yakubu with an ambassadorial appointment sends the wrong signal and contradicts calls for accountability in public service. Well, the party has urged the Senate to reject Yakubu's nomination, stating that individuals who failed to deliver credible elections should not be rewarded with prestigious diplomatic positions. And I'll take a reaction, Ayo, before I come to you. Uncle Dips wrote on X. Even though he is highly qualified and will likely do a great job, Professor Mazi Yakubu will be making a grievous mistake if he accepts this ambassadorial nomination after spending 10 years at the helm of INEC, supervising the election that brought the incumbent government to power. It will be highly irregular if he takes a job from the same government if he is bored. There are many universities that will be honored to have him taking a few classes. I mean, these are some of the pushbacks from those three personalities that I mentioned earlier in my statement, because obviously it was it became controversial over the weekend with many views you've seen from the PDP. We also saw from Delta State people condemning Renault Mokri, and now of course Professor Mazi Yakubu, who was responsible for bringing in this government to power. Your thoughts?
All right. In fact, maybe because some people might say that it's that last statement you made that has earned him his nomination, even though it's arguable that he's the one that brought in this current administration to the election. A number of people argued as to whether or not it was free, fair, and credible, and had one of the highest election petitions before the tribunal during his tenure. And so a number of people criticized that and are saying that perhaps it's so short a time closer to the election and his retirement, where he seemed to almost be rewarded for a job well done as INEC chair, even though a number of people disagree with that. But it's not just the three names that are contentious, because the names reflect the fact that people who handled their individual states incompetently, people who had cases with the EFCC for mismanagement of funds, people who do not have experience or expertise in these areas, people who have been known to go on social media to speak in ways that are not honorable by any way or form and are not befitting of the office of an ambassador, people who are known to have have personal cases, you can say it's personal life, but cases of domestic violence, allegations against them. These are the people that are being brought forward as ambassador nominees. And then we ask the question, with the population of 230 million Nigerians, these are the people, 32 of these are people that the president saw fit to nominate as ambassadors, the chief diplomat in our foreign nations, to represent and speak on behalf of the country. You begin to question the thought process of his advisors and the ability of the president to put people in positions. Don't forget that when he was running for election, he had said that one of his key strategies is that his teamship and his ability to identify talent and put round pegs in round holes. But this is a misfit by a lot of standards, whether through character, through experience. And so people are asking, what is the process by which the president makes his decisions? That's number one. Remember the ministerial nominees as well. There was a lot of noise around that. And these were mainly political rewards when we needed expertise, particularly at a critical time like this in the nation's history. And so those are some of the things. Again, I hope the president might look into this, withdraw, but then take a critical look at those in his kitchen cabinet who are advising him to make such decisions to cause embarrassment to his government, where a lot of people disagree with. Finally, let me say that unfortunately, these things that have overshadowed those who actually are on merits, the 15 career ambassadors. We congratulate them. This is the work they have done. They have a lot of experience and they will bring it to bear in their work. So congratulations to all of them, and I'm hoping that this whole Labalu will not overshadow what should be a glory moment for them based on the hard work they've done so far.
Well said. The story will continue to unfold. I would have loved your comment, but I'm sure that you have unpacked a lot during the course of the show. Well, in another development, former President Olusegun Obasanjo's fiery rebuke of the insecurity plaguing Nigeria went viral over the weekend. Speaking at an event, Obasanjo issued a stern warning to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, urging him to decisively tackle banditry or risk international intervention. Obasanjo emphasized that the security situation has deteriorated to an unacceptable level, with communities living in fear and farmers unable to access their farmlands. Let's take a look.
We are being killed. We Nigerians. No matter what religion you belong to, no matter where you come from, no matter what profession, we Nigerians are being killed. And our governments seem to be incapable of protecting us. We are part of the world community. If our government cannot do it, we have right to call on the international community to do for us what our government cannot do for us. And for anybody to say because those who are being killed belong to this region, belong to this religion, belong to this tribe, and then others too are being killed, cannot be an acceptable excuse. Before I left government, I know we had capacity to pick up anybody in Nigeria who commits crime anywhere.
Well, the former president's comments come amid escalating attacks by bandits across several states, resulting in killings, kidnappings, and displacement of thousands of Nigerians. Well, in another development, a 2024 interview featuring the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, has resurfaced on social media, in which Obasanjo recalls a meeting he had with the controversial Islamic cleric, Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. In the interview, Obasanjo recalls how Gumi met with boys as young as 13, who were completely wrecked by drugs. The former president emphasized that these are children who should be in school, but instead have no employment or a future. Let's take a look.
The first thing he said to me was, look, where those boys are, they 45 themselves. And if any security man says, yeah, or going there, he's lying to you. That's number one. Number two, he said what made him lead was boys of 13, 14, 15 years. They are soaked in drug and alcohol. They are correct. That should worry us. 20 multi-million children that should be in school that are not in school. Those that have no employment, no job, and they see you in obscene affluence. What do you expect them to do?
For this interview, explored the former president's insight on how to end bad governance in Nigeria and his alternative approaches to leadership. Online, people have wondered what this excerpt symbolizes, that one man can visit the terrorists where they are, but the Nigerian military hasn't done so in an impactful way. I mean, we did discuss this, I believe, last week in detail, even how, Sheikh Ahmad Gumi is able to meet with the bandits, negotiate on behalf of the federal government as well. But also the first story I took about, Olusegun Obasanjo criticizing the Tinubu administration went viral over the weekend. But the presidency has responded, saying that he lacks the capacity or the ability to criticize the Tinubu administration. And they said terrorism took root on your watch, and this is what they claim at this point. Your thoughts?
This is OG. It's a very complex issue, especially when you look at sort of the historical moving pieces around it. Because we can play the blame game for as long as we want. Because if we are to trace it back in history and we ask ourselves what is the exact moment that we got to where we are, I think it's quite a fluid timeline. But having said that, from 1999, which is the beginning of the current democratic dispensation, we would have wanted to see change, and we thought certain things would be addressed. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that if you look at it historically and you see, the oil boom in the 70s, what really, for me, what I think is a turnaround point was the structural adjustment program in 1986, where suddenly people became economically disenfranchised. So what happens when you become economically disempowered? And the state takes away welfare. The government stops spending on the people. So suddenly everybody was exposed. And since then, we've seen less and less government assistance in the people's lives. People are asking, what does the government do for us? And that inadvertently will cause the rise of all of these malaises that we see now, whether it be insecurity, whether it be young men they're referring to that are wrecked with drugs and so forth. You've left them vulnerable to that because you've removed the social security net that was supposed to capture them and that was supposed to ensure that, we have a functional state. So, the blame game, you can say that, Tinubu should do this, you risk international intervention and so forth. No, that is incorrect. I think intervention is the wrong word and the wrong body language for us to take in this moment. We've already gone beyond that. We've already gone the path of diplomatic engagement. We've gone the path of creating a joint working group that is supposed to collaborate, and we're supposed to get assistance with intelligence and so forth. And I think most well-meaning Nigerians have accepted the fact and embraced the fact that these solutions can only be Nigerian-led. Even if there is collaboration and the Americans bring their technology and so on, how long is it going to stay here? How sustainable is it? Unless we are able to do something for ourselves that doesn't just do a fire brigade approach to the current crisis, but that we know in 10, 20 years will be sustainable. So, of course, there's the use of intelligence and military strategy. But then I still go back to the point of social security net. Let people feel that Nigeria looks after them and that there's hope and opportunity for them in Nigeria. And a lot of these things will resolve themselves naturally.
All right, Dr. Z, I'd like your thoughts on President Olusegun Obasanjo. No, before you do that, in regards to the presidency's criticism, saying that he lacks the credibility to criticize the Tinubu administration. But before you comment on that, I'd like to take this. Well, a wave of abductions in Nigeria was heightened or highlighted by two separate high-profile incidents over the weekend in the village of Chako in Sokoto State. Terrorists conducted an overnight raid, kidnapping 13 women, including a bride and 10 bridesmaids, and an infant simultaneously in Kogi State. Gunmen attacked a newly established Cherubim and Seraphim church in Ejiba during an early Sunday service, abducting the pastor, his wife, and several other congregants from worshippers to flee.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You can hide in you. Church can be on the inside. About Landu. That is about only to head of this church. About an umbrella. Oh, I want to church. Once your pastor come up anything, we don't be talking about that in it. It's one way. And then what to say? I'm going to go one.
For both attacks underscore the worsening security crisis in Nigeria. And we're also learning that a truck transporting building materials crushed 4 school children and injured several others in Igalamela, Odolu local government area on Monday in Kogi State. The incident happened around 8:30 a.m. with residents saying that because the school doesn't have a functional school student, is not a functional school, students have to trek through dangerous roads to access class in neighboring villages.
So we are calling on our excellency, Alhaji Isman, to help us and pick our own school, our own secondary school in Ekoloye. We are tired of this thing. We are begging them. We are begging them. Come and build our own school. We're many for Ekoloye. We're many.
All right, Dr. Abati, we're seeing not just the banditry, we're seeing insecurity because of lack of infrastructure. 4 of our children dead because they trek home.
All these stories, whether it's from Sokoto or from Kebbi or from Kogi State or from anywhere else, we seem to reinforce the established narrative that insecurity is a major threat to progress and development in Nigeria. And we keep having these episodes, even an escalation, in recent times, attacks here and there, both on Muslims and also Christians, because I keep making the point, and we are all victims. And this was the main point of the editorial in the Financial Times, that all Nigerians are in trouble with regard to security. And it's because they argue successive governments have failed in many regards. But to go quickly to the point you raised about what President Obasanjo said, the substance of it is one. President Obasanjo was speaking at the Carol Service Christmas Praise Festival in Jos. And he made a point there that, look, this problem that we have in the country, if government cannot solve the problem, there's nothing wrong in asking for help from the international community. And the logic behind it is that terrorism, banditry, insurgency, these are cross-border global issues, that we're dealing with in this particular regard. Now, the second point was the point he made in the interview about his encounter with Sheikh. Now, President Obasanjo was in office 1999 to 2007. He spent 2 terms in office. Now, during that period, the Boko Haram issue had not become such a big problem. And now, with the benefit of hindsight in that interview, he was saying that, look, during his time, he was able to use technology and move very fast to suppress it. But over the years, the things got worse. And he was recommending that, look, now you have drones. You can use technology. And you just have to find a political will, and you can do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that recommendation. After all, we just had the professor of the Internet of Things, Professor Iwendi. And he was supporting what President Obasanjo said. This idea that if anybody makes any suggestion, the best thing is to attack the person and abuse the person. And Sunday Dare, who is himself a journalist, will say, it's an irony that his President Obasanjo is making recommendations. After all, he took root under his words. But President Obasanjo's point is that he used technology to check it. And we're in the age of AI. You can even do better with technology. That seems logical.
I agree with you. And also speaking about technology, the Nigerian army has recently demonstrated.
This is what they do in their studio. Nonsense, arrant nonsense, arrant nonsense. I have said it several times. If you want to confirm that Nigeria is a failed state, go to their platform and watch. The reason I play video from their conventional media is to confirm that Nigeria is a failed state. And each time I play their video, you pay attention, it is all bad news. Blame, blame, blame. At a point in time, they fight each other. You will never hear them of solution. You never hear a solution. You see them, every single one of them in that very studio, they are part of the problem. More especially the ape face that you saw there, Abati. That ape face. These are people that will give excuses for the government, they give excuses for their brother, and help the government to push their evil agenda. My fellow Biafrans, wherever you are, always remember that we don't have any other choice except Biafra. And we must continue to fight until we get to the promised land. It is either Biafra or nothing. I appreciate every one of you that was able to be with us. It is very late here where I am, but I have to take the pain to do this program because I have to do it. It is very late. I'm supposed to be sleeping by now, but all the same, I'm here. I appreciate every one of you that has the time to join me on this program, and we are going to call it a night. Have a very wonderful night. Enjoy your sleep, and may Chukwu guide and protect you. Bless everyone that participated and sit at home today. I pray that Chukwu come and continue to be with you, guide and protect you. I also pray for our leaders, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Eba. May Chukwu continue to guide them, protect them, secure them, give them long life in the land of living, bring them back to us as soon as possible. Thank you so much for being part of this program. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow morning on our morning program. Don't forget, if you have not shared, share. Make sure you share this program, and also tomorrow, join us. Subscribe if you are not also. Join us on morning program. That is where we spend much time. In morning program, we stay almost 3-4 hours, and you can join us and also make a contribution. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Have a wonderful night. Good night. God bless you all.
Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear, now go with the go so. Herdsmen, they kill us every day, for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, them they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises, we they here they run to. Move it down. I blame it on the religious leaders, I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jollof. Something done the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come. It's very close at the film. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job, and the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. But now them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.